Hello fellow Shadow Priests. Today we're looking at some of the games from the Diabolus Death Bowl tournament last week. It was a 3v3 tournament. Not too many teams signed up, but there's definitely some good teams in there. Our team got second place. We won a bunch of games. Definitely could have won the whole thing, so we're going to go back and watch some games, provide some commentary, and explain some of our comps and strategies and just general tips about what's going on in the game. So first off, I think one of our first series is against MLD, which is kind of hard to face as God comp. You can just kite and run away and try to dampen you, so we didn't really want that to happen. Our strategy was just to run in and be very aggressive. The lock pops Dark Soul. I use my Fade, and I'm out of LOS of everybody, so I Fade Mass Dispel not only all of our dots off of our whole team, but also his Dark Soul. So really high value MD there. Take away his biggest cooldown. The combustion gets kleptoed. We're looking to have the lock as our main target, but keep up damage on anybody else in the meantime as well. Like I said, this game can go on very long, so the more damage we do, potentially getting a mana win condition is possible as well. I mind games the mage here, but it was actually not very good because he had all his barriers up. I should have canceled it and purged them first, and that way we could have maybe snuck a kill on him there before Ice Block. There's both kicks up. They don't have damage, so I think I'm safe to free cast. There's no Dark Soul, no combustion, so the chances of me getting locked out and completely one-shot are really low. Always good to be aware of when is an opportune time to cast. I trinket the stun, double fear these guys in the hopes that we can get a setup on this lock. Purge his reflect off. We're really trying to stun him here. This is a great time to void form. I am playing instant void form because life swap is going to have little to no value. Once this game goes on longer than 5 minutes, nobody is going to be eligible to get life swap. Really, like I'm going to be below 50% health late in the game, and it just won't end up, saving us like it would against a lot of other teams that maybe just won't touch me. So Mage has every hot in the game, which kind of makes him a bad target. If he's kleptoing our Mage, he's going to be taking his shields and the rest of Druid's hots, and it's just a nightmare. So the lock is going to be our squishiest target. Trying to keep my DPs on him as much as possible. I need to be careful of those polymorphs. I probably should have deathed that one, but it's a little tricky with the lock being able to fear me too, so I'm getting spam controlled by this team. Again, there's 2 CSs up, but I feel comfortable casting because they've just used all of their damage. It looks like they're trying to push our Druid in. I have stun and silence up, so I guess the main objective here is going to be for our Druid to stun the Warlock since he's closest, and then I will get the Druid. I had to silence him just because I think I was on global. Stun him out of that. Probably get the fear here. Yep. Meanwhile, completely purging this lock. Not letting him reflect mind games, of course. Never want to let a mind games cast go off if a reflect is up in the game. Getting spam CC'd a lot, though, too. Didn't juke the kick. Unfortunate. Probably getting punished for it. Mass Dispel the Cyclone. Uh-oh, there's another Dark Soul. We're kind of in trouble here. Need to line if we can. I pop a Void Form, dot the Druid. Trying to dot everybody right now. It looks like the Mage is rotting to our damage, so I'm going to send a Mind Games on him, and he's not really paying attention, so he just doesn't block and dies. That was kind of a troll game, but I hope that there is something of value to be learned from that. We'll move on to the next one. So then in the tournament, you can get banned, like in banned classes. So I Shadow Priest got banned, and my team won as Mage Warrior against Mage Hunter. So now we're playing against MLD again. We both banned troll classes because we wanted to just play our main comps. This is what the game probably should have looked like the first time. Like all of us at 30%, we're waddling. Look how slow I'm trying to walk to get into LOS with this guy. We get stuns on the Warlock. I silence the Druid. My fear doesn't really hit anybody useful there, I think. Maybe I just got the Mage in the lock. Not too good. Really sketchy here. Need to be super careful. I don't have Disperse. I Fade, but not enough mana to get those MDs later in the game when I'm spam healing and purging. I think I do end up getting a Mind Games on the lock here, which is super sick because all of his dots start healing us instead of doing damage. And Mind Games has like a 10k threshold, right? So if you damage a target for 10k, it actually heals them for 10k. I don't think he hit that on any of us, and it just healed us all for a little bit and kept us alive. Now I pop PI and Vampiric Embrace, and I'm completely healing the team right now. Our Druid has no mana. We finished the lock there as well, but that was just really close and sketchy, and definitely could have lost this game. I just fast forwarded to the end just to show you like how boring that matchup could actually be. All right, this game was really boring. I don't even know if it's worth commentating. I mean, it's Warrior Spriest against Ret Warrior. A lot of people think that the Spriest Warrior is favored in this matchup. I don't really think that's the case. If you just think about on paper the burst damage a Ret can do and the healing a Ret can do compared to the little burst damage I can do and the little healing I can do, the little damage I can do, honestly, against this team, it's really frustrating. The only reason why I win this game is because they have a Dis Priest and we just went on mana. I think if they had a Holy Priest, we would suffer the mana loss and we would never be able to kill them because Guardian is so overpowered with Reds. When you Guardian a Red, they can walk themselves for like 400k. But yeah, against this team, my main objective is just to dot all 3 targets, live the big wings every time we see the Reds. Big wings, when I say big wings, I mean not just the proc that he gets, but when he activates his 2-minute cooldown, we need to press all of our defensive cooldowns and get away from each other. So I always want either disperse or fade for the wings, and if I don't have those, I'm communicating in advance. Somebody needs to save me when the Ret pops wings. So whether that's a fear from my warrior or disarm or rally or clone, like we need to do whatever we can to just survive the wings. At this point, they have no mana. Our warrior's going to stop the drink here. He doesn't have rage for the fear somehow. Okay. Clone the priest, mind flaying the Ret. I have silence available. I could have silenced the Ret, but he just dies. You know, I had just watched that whole game, and there really wasn't too much worth talking about. Our main strategy was just to kill the Ret with stuns, and I would silence the priest at the same time, but just a really boring game in my opinion. Then I think they played WMD, and they get a nice game. Played out very similar to the God Comp, where it just like had to go on for a while, and then eventually they would kill the warrior. But I didn't play in this game. There's no Shadow Priest content, so I think we're just gonna kind of skip over it. Oh man, here's a rough matchup. Ellie Mage against God Comp. Ellie counters Combustion with Grounding Totem, so we need to cover him. We also need to cover the Mage because he can Klepto the Combust, so our CC has to be impeccable. We need to have CC on the healer, CC on the Mage, and the Shaman at the same time. Otherwise, our Combustion will have no value. The Shaman's playing Dark Iron Dwarf, so he can dwarf off my games and silence. That's going to help him when he doesn't have Trinket. You know, just like a classic God Comp counter pick. We knew that they would play this, and we knew that we could potentially beat it if they fucked up, but they didn't really fuck up too much this game. The game is actually pretty close. I think I'm trying to skip ahead because I know it's a long one and it's pretty boring. We did make a pretty critical error. We let the Pally get like a 60 or 70% drink off, and that enabled them to just continue on and probably survive when they should have been dead. But yeah, overall it's a very tough matchup. It's hard to land the triple CC because once we get CC on someone, they all start reacting. Like you see, we get the stun on the Shaman, and then the Mage is instantly there peeling, sheep the healer, but then the Mage is gone, so we're kind of like at a loss for what to do. We need to probably stick on the Shaman. The Mage has too much mobility for us to track him down. But then the Shaman's flesh crafting, and we get CC, but it takes no damage. I'm mind game, so I don't get a whole lot of value from that. This is just a frustrating team to play into. I think the only solution, though, is to play super aggressive and spam CC on the Pally until we actually can line up something meaningful with cross CC on the other two. I think ideally our CC should look like our Mage gets the sheep on the healer, and then maybe the Druid and I get the other two. Like I'll stun silence the Shaman, and potentially our Druid can CC the Mage. But depending on the positioning, that's going to be really hard. I think the Mage is the hardest person to CC just with like his mobility, and if he recognizes that we're doing a go, he can get out of LOS, and can be really tricky. I don't really want to watch too much of this game just because it's a lot of like the other team running away and surviving. We're trying to just do a fake little go here to get our Druid some mana. He comes out with full mana. We waste our setup, but at least we have enough mana to go into dampening here. So let me skip ahead and see what goes down. Right, a couple of minutes later, the Holy Pally is looking pretty not sure if this is where he gets the drink or not. Yeah, he does get the drink, so he's been drinking, and he went from to like decent mana here. We don't really get a huge setup here. I kind of used my CC to stop the drink, which is kind of troll, and we didn't get a perfect go. But at this point, I think, 40% dampening. My objective should be just to go Void Form on cooldown and try to push them over and again win the mana game, even though he did just get the drink again. It's, like I said, super hard to get the setup, so we need to probably just focus more on like raw PvE damage. So there I am, Void Form. Mage gets lassoed around 80% and dies in it because hashtag Mage Ellie, and we go down. So we lose that game just solely on the counter pick from them and us letting him get the drink. So kind of unfortunate. If you know that mana is your win condition, you need to play hyper aware to stop the mana. And looking at all their cooldowns, like they didn't have trinket, they didn't have bubble, they didn't have sack, the shaman didn't have trinket, we had combustion. All we had to do was live that lasso, and we potentially could have closed it out. Here we go. Here's a second game. I don't know why. Okay, I was gonna say I don't know why they swapped their comp, so we banned Ellie. So they're playing RMP into God comp. I think we're actually pretty favored in this matchup, to be honest. I feel super confident into this team. I fucked up really hard this game, and maybe we had some wrong talents as well. So I'm kiddied on my mount. Whoever gets CC on the pally first, the other guy is going to stun the rogue. Our druid gets polyed out of blind. That's unfortunate. I'm able to MD it there. Really nice. One thing I think I'm doing wrong in this game is I'm pushing towards the pally for CC when they're training me. It should be my goal to drag the rogue out. I don't know if I actually adapt mid-game or if that was like something we do next game, but it's really bad. If the target is getting trained, they should never be overextending. Holy fuck, I went to 1% and faded there too, by the way. So that's the crit legendary from the Assassin Rogue. He used Meld to like double envenom me to get 100% crits on those envenoms. So that's like 13k envenom, 13k envenom. And they're looking to win cheesy like that. I didn't really realize that in the heat of the moment. I'm still waddling. I missed the fear in the pally, kind of tilting. Panded the pally. Rogue Fleshcrafts. I need to get out of this position. This position is really bad. I'm behind the pillar. My healer's going to have trouble healing me. Kidney, bomb, Hansel gets kicked, can't Klepto the Combust, so I'm forced to disperse. Again, though, I think we lose this one. Like, aside from me fucking up and like getting one shot, we lose this game on positioning 100%. I stun the rogue, silence the pally to try to get damage off, reverse the pressure. We're just not able to land sheeps this game, unfortunately. Hansel's not playing Shimmer. He's playing Blink at a stun spec, so he's never really able to poly the pally. And boom, I just get cheesed. Look at that damage. That's he vanished to double envenom me, so we'll try to watch that back if I can. Stun silence. I actually died so fast, it's crazy. I had trinket and swap, and I think I trinketed a Garrote and just died from 40 to 0. Yeah. So SS Rogues can do that, and now that I know that they're playing that, everything is going to be all good. All right, so in this game, the second game, we haven't won yet, so we could get knocked out here. They play Turbo into Warrior Spriest. I don't know what the strategy was here to have a Mistweaver on their team. That seemed extremely troll, but whatever. We get a Cocoon really early here, I think. Guy gets into death range basically, so nice. Get a Cocoon onto the Shaman. Warrior Spriest always want to spread damage as much as possible, so we start tapping this Warrior. He gets pretty low, not low enough to die, unfortunately. My positioning a lot here is going to revolve around me playing away from the healer and then jumping down. So if I could maybe pause it right here. I was playing right here. The healer is somewhere around this box. Every time I just jump down, and then I'll start traversing this way so that the healer has to spend time moving out here. Then he's susceptible to my CC, and can't heal them. They get stunned out of position. Could be really good for us. So just a little tidbit of information. Dalryn is actually not too bad of a map versus Melee Cleaves. You can definitely use Lost to your LOS to your advantage a lot. Tiny Stop is out there just getting absolutely trucked. I believe I dispersed on Doom Winds. If you don't have a weak warrior to show you when Doom Winds is up, that is when you're going to die to Enhanced Shamans 10 out of 10 times. Still getting fucked. I have Fade if I need. Get a Void Form off. Silence the healer just while we have some pressure going. I should be jumping down here pretty soon here. I think would be a good idea. Looks like the warrior's just going to die too. So yeah, I don't know about that one. That was just kind of like a cheese game as well. We got cheese, they got cheese. That's a cheese karma. He had a lot of cooldowns to use. He just didn't know he's in trouble, I guess. So let's go into the next match. Little rematch here. I know that I fucked up and said like don't change anything. Just we'll first of all play Shimmer so we can get polys, and then I'll live better. Like I know what I can do. He's Night Elf, so if every time he melds to like Garrote me, I can panda him, and for 4 seconds he can't attack while he's panded, which will nullify his crit legendary. Kidneyed on my mount. Dismount while I'm kidneyed, why not? dot the rogue. I think my first global is always going to be Damnation out of the kidney to get some damage going. He starts Fleshcrafting. Hansels can't really afford to kick Fleshcraft because then the mage will get free sheeps and shit, so a little sketchy. I covered the mage. We probably don't... Oh, he does combust because he locks the mage. Nice. Any target we hit is fine. This is going to be a long game, so we could swap between mage and the rogue, but ideally we want to just kill the rogue. This map is not too great for us, though. There's nowhere for me to really like drag him in the open. I dispersed on the combust. Fair trade. I'm not sure if we had Klepto for it or not. Can't let the rogue re-stealth, though. I want to get away from this pally if I can. That's me trying to fake cast the door. Doing a better job, not standing behind the pillar like I was the other game. Just trying to take the rogue out. I like this angle. This is cool. Bomb on me. My druid gets hodged. I'm just going to Trinket Fade, grip him out of the ring. Don't actually get the ring. That's unfortunate. But I tried my hardest, and that's what counts. I think I just swap here because I got 30 to 0'd before. Is that true? I think I remember swapping really early this game. Yeah, I did it in the DB. Why not? It's better sometimes to use a cooldown than to not use one like I did the other game. So now I have no disperse, no fade, and no swap. So they just want to W key me. We really need to get some CC on this pally, though, or we're going to start losing pretty hard. I think Hansel actually gets pissed at me this game, too, because I silenced the pally instead of the mage one time. I stunned the mage. He gets dispelled. I silenced him. There we go. We're able to... We should have been able to combust, but we got blinded there. Unfortunately, pally got a blind on them. He sacked the rogue. The disperse in 5. I just need to survive for 5 seconds. I live long enough till my disperse with my fade. Rogue's trying to re-stealth. We really don't like that. If we can push in on him, all 3 of us are there. Good. We're stopping the re-stealth. Every time I'm off stun TR, we need to start going hard. Because if we do a go and the rogue just stuns me, it sucks. It's better to start it when I can't get kiddied. He pops the stun. Still trying to put out damage to anyone we can. I'm purging the mage. I'm trying to dot pally. Void form on the rogue. Little fear to set up there. DB's me. Doing damage to anybody. Doesn't matter. This could be a mana game. I think if I rotate my cooldowns correctly, I won't die. And just need to watch out when the rogue gets the re-stealth, because that's where the crit legendary comes from. There we go. He garrotes me and I panda him. He's furious. Furious on that panda. So he gets no value out of the crit legendary. Look how low I get anyways, though. Imagine if I didn't panda him here, because I got to like 30% and he didn't get any value from the crit legendary. It's crazy. Hansel really needs to push up and CC this pally, I think, soon. Pally's the mage. Trying to sheep the pally, doesn't get it. Not looking great for us. We really just have to CC this pally. Holy fuck, I went to 1% and he had us meet a full. See, if we died right there, we would have been out of the tournament. Would have sucked. But I'm playing an enchant that increases my healing taken by like 12%. So maybe that helped me out. Help me live that, because if I died, that would have sucked. In my mind, we're not playing as aggressive on this pally as we could be. Like, we should definitely be sheeping this pally on DR, and I don't, unless I'm blind, I just feel like it's not happening. So I get the double fear there. I stun the mage, so Hansel can combustion, or he did. The mage did combust. I don't even know what's happening. We get the sheeps in the pally, but the rogue's just running. He has no cloak, so we should probably just chase him down. My disperse and fade are back up. This is looking good. This is looking so good for us. Pally has Trinket, Bubble, and Sack, though. So we definitely have to get some CC on that guy who is drinking at the moment. Nice. I silence the pally just because this rogue is dying. We stun the rogue. He... What, bubble sacks there? Yeah, good trade on their part. I think if he Trinket sacked, we would have forced bubble anyways, so good play by the pally, knowing that that would have happened for sure. Now that they actually only have Paladin's Trinket, we super need to play aggro on them. We need to force Trinket and then just close the game out, I think. Hodge into Poly, very unfortunate situation to be in if your name is Peter LaPanda. I think we could be sheeping the rogue every time I get kidneyed. I feel like that would have been a good strategy too. This rogue gets vortexed. Doddemal. Peter shoots a Shadow Crash into midfield and lands approximately 0 damage with that. Step kidneys me on mind games. Kind of sad. I do have Disperse up. Just trying to tank damage right now and not use it though. We get a nice poly onto the pally. Stun on the rogue. They've got no trinkets. The only thing the rogue has is cloak right now, and he just vanished defensively as well. So trinket vanished from the rogue. All he has is cloak left, but cloak is really, if he doesn't get the re-stealth with the cloak, it's not going to be too big of a cooldown. If we have a long CC chain on the pally, we can definitely kill him through it. This is how people play in tournaments too. Like, they don't have cloak or you don't have trinket, just sit in stealth. But I think we start killing the mage and they get a little scared, so he opens up. I panded him again on the Garrote, nullify that crit legendary. Not a lot of burst is going to come out onto me. I probably have fear. I trinket fear here, yeah. When I don't have, when I have disperse and fade, I think I can trinket aggro like that. We sheep the pally off that. I mind games the rogue. He should have to cloak here. He does cloak. Very nice, very nice. If we don't let him re-stealth though, we can keep CCing this pally and get more cooldowns. Door shadows. I'm on top of them. I silence the pally just because the rogue is still pretty low. We're playing on top of them, cloning the pally. The rogue's flesh crafting. Unfortunate that we can't kick it, but it's okay. Long CC chain, keep going. The mage blocks to peel. Probably going to be my disperse here. It's the mage had just combusted and my druid got pally blinded or something. MD the blind, stun the rogue, stun the pally. That was all Tuna. He did the double CC by himself there, giving us a little bit of pressure. Yeah, the rogue has trinket back up, but it's not going to do too much if we don't even like stun him. He's just going to die in the open if we CC the pally without cloak. Kidney bomb on me. I still have swap out of this. I think I'm okay. Full ring on the pally. He trinkets into fear. We're just pushing this rogue in. I think when we were playing on top of them, like, this is how we should have been playing earlier. Just standing on top of them, CCing them. I swear it would have been way better than letting the pally just sit back and AFK heal. The rogue vanishes, gets topped off in stealth. We knock him out, comes back out. No cloak for 40 seconds. Pally has no mana, full sheep, and just he will die to damage if we get the CC that we need. So I think that was a great adaptation, and we definitely cleaned it up against them significantly. Fast forward to Tolvaron. Shadow Priest gets banned. They got to take Peter out. They didn't want to deal with those pandas. Ellie Mage against Warrior Mage, probably a better matchup than Ellie Mage versus God Comp. The Warrior brings a lot more damage to the table. Eventually, they just drag it out. They tried to dampen Warrior Mage, and they end up getting damped because Warriors can do so much freaking damage. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't play this game, but I think it'll still be cool to show this ending. He charges to him, reflects the poly, and bam, Warrior smashed him for half his HP. Solid match by the Warrior Mage team. Alright, this video is a little long, so I think we're going to crop it up and make a second edition of this where we show the remainder of this series against Tiki's team, and then the one that we lose in the finals too. I think those will be fun games to watch.